Okay, I'm going to start off with this. Hey folks, I'm pretty down the tubes because a mess of juvies bagged my wheels last night. Can you dig that? Dresslov, I'm sorry. I don't know where you were reading that stuff, man, but it wouldn't no one would come out with, hey folks. They'd probably get their ass kicked if they started off in a group with, hey folks, how's it going? You'd get beat up. It'd be more like, dudes, hey man. I mean, when you talk to someone, everybody was man. Guy or girl, hey man, I'm pretty down, I'm pretty bummed. Down the tubes was a surfer term from 63, 64, the Jan and Dean crowd, the Beach Boys maybe, but surfers were not hippies, and that would not have transpired anywhere besides on the beach. So, pretty down the tubes, Because a mess of juvies? I don't think so. I'd probably guess that they would say something like, man, some freaks ripped off my ride last night. So it would be, hey man, I'm bummed, dude. Some freak like ripped off my ride last night or ripped off my car or whatever else. But come on, the rest of that, can you dig it? I mean, I got freaked out, so I called the fuzz. Dimed. I dimed the fuzz, or I dimed the heat, or I dimed the man, or I dimed. Yeah, that would be it. I dimed the man, or the cops, maybe the fuzz, but I wouldn't think anyone would say, so I called them, okay? And then I'm looking at, but they just cracked up and thought I was smoking dope because no dip would want a V-dub this scurvy? Dude, you're mixing up a bunch of terms again. Scurvy, I don't know where that kind of goes, but once again, I think that's a surfer term, and actually more like a pirate term, but I don't think anybody talked that way. Okay, they just cracked up? No, they blew me off, man. I mean, like I dimed the fuzz and they blew me off, man. I mean, like, I was kind of stoked on it. Okay, stoked was cool. I'll go along with that one. I was kind of stoked on that. Okay, but wait, we got to go back to the dip, because no dip would steal a car. A dip? Not even cool when I was in 6th grade. And that would be like 1963 or 4. No, sorry, man. Not cool. No one would use dip because some dip would want a V-dub this scurvy. Well, V-dub is still used now, but a V-dub back then would have been a van, not so much a car. If it was the car, they'd say, my bug got ripped off, man. Or else they'd say, my van got ripped off, man. But it would not be some dip ripped off my wheels, okay? But I mean, like, I was kind of stoked on it. That's cool. Anyway, after half an hour of razzing me, they flaked off and told me they'd investigate the case. Man, after 30 minutes, those dudes flaked out. They flaked out. They didn't flake off, okay? They, like, flaked out, man. Okay? And back to, they thought I was smoking dope. Man, they thought I was smoking reefer, or rope, or ganj, or boo, or hemp. But never Mary Jane. If anyone ever called it Mary Jane, we knew damn quick they were narcs. And they'd probably end up with their ass kicked. So, no one ever said that, okay? Mary Jane was uncool. But smoking dope, that was a term they'd use between each other. But I don't know if that's quite how they'd explain they were talking to the cops, okay? But here's what I don't get. But I guess these Skinners jive me. You're mixing Black Panther speak with hippie speak. And jive and Skinner are a term that were used by blacks in maybe, oh crap, I want to say Chicago. Black Panthers in California, not commonly used though, man. What a bum trip. Yeah, that's cool. Then I told myself, cool it, dude. Don't drive the fast lane, stop and smell the roses. Same thing, but I don't think anybody said that. Don't drive the fast lane, stop and smell the roses. No, not even cool then. Nope. So I went to a blast at Lucy's Moby Pad. Well, going to a party. I went to a party, still was I went to a party, not going to a blast. Lucy's Moby pad. Moby is more of a mod term from England, maybe even particularly London, but didn't quite make it over to the United States hippie scene. And finally, Lucy is a groovy chick with meat threads and cherry shades, and what can I say? It was far out. Okay, describes the color of her clothes and her sunglasses, and that's cool, but that's about the only sentence that maybe makes sense. So, like, hey man, I'm like pretty bummed. Some freaks like stole my wheels. Can you dig it? I got freaked out, so like I dimed the man, and he just thought maybe I was like smoking hemp or something, because they wouldn't even waste any time on me, man. I mean, like, who would steal my bug? It was so damaged. Sure, it was totally wiped out and didn't cost a lot of bread, but I mean, like, I was kind of stoked on it. Anyway, the cops like flaked out and told me they'd check it out, but I guess they were just bullshit me. What a bummer, man. Then I told myself, mellow out, dude. Mellow out. Life's too short to get like freaked out on shit like that. So like I went over to this freak out over at Lucy's crib, man. We did us a little bit of acid and smoked a little pot, man. And what can I say, man? It was pretty far out. All this brought back memories. I went to Chicago when I was 12 years old, skipped a day of school, jumped on the L train, went down to Old Town, which is where the hippies hung out, and I bought these groovy hippie beads, man. This is how you wore them. You twirled them all up. These things were blue and green and red and yellow when I got them, but man, that was like, woo, I even hate to say it, it was 45 years ago. Nah, was it? 42 years ago. I ain't that old. Then I got this cool thing here, man. This was my, like, hippie jacket. Still got it, dude. Wore this thing all the time. Ain't it cool? Like, it was so cool that when my son had hippie day at junior high school, he wore the same thing, man. And now my grandson borrowed it from me because they had hippie days, and he's in 4th grade now. But it was cool. We wore all kinds of pins on there, like smiley faces, and I hung around at this cool dance joint called the Wild Goose, man, in Chicagoland. Dex Cards Wild Goose. We had a march where we were trying to get zero population growth, man, because the world was so crowded, and like we freaked out about that stuff. And we had a riot in 1968 I got busted at, and the cop said, those damn hippies are scum and need to be kicked out of this town. So we had these printed, man. I'm scum and I'm proud. So take your far out cool self, man, back down the groovy path and think about all the groovy stuff and the far out terms that they use, man, back in the hippie days, and roll yourself a doob, a joint of some hemp, man, get some of that good ganj and have yourself a good time. But when you're looking up how to be a hippie on Google or whatever, you gotta learn to weed that shit out, because hey folks, it's not a groovy way to start anything, dude.